And welcome to a brand new edition of the Red Mountain Express, a podcast about the great city of Birmingham. I'm Blake Westbrook.
I'm Patrick Tucker.
I'm JD Baker.
We got a great show in store for you. We're going to talk about some news a little bit later on, but we have a guest on the show today, like we do most weeks we've had lately. And for the last few weeks, we've had like really good guests, and we've had some guests that I really wanted on and that Patrick really wanted on. And so this was JD's turn to have a really good guest on.
All right.
JD, introduce our guest.
So tonight we have Adam Guthrie from the band Salvo. Adam, if you want to give us a little history about the band and kind of what you got coming up.
Yes, thank you so much, guys, for having me on. I really appreciate this. Salvo, the members of Salvo used to be in a band called Pain, and Pain was active in the late 90s. We played really fast rock and punk and, I don't know.
You don't want to say ska.
I didn't say ska because we had a horn section. We did have one, but we
But I knew you didn't want to say ska.
We weren't the best ska band. Yeah, so I think ska bands would agree that we were not a ska band, but we did play. We had our horns and keyboards and guitars, and we played very fast. So we were a happy band. And 20 years later, we decided to confuse everyone by changing the name. So the headline reads, according to Eric Onimus's for The Onion, is local band deceives tiny following, thwarts comeback.
So what we're planning on doing here at the show is stopping the show and then coming back as like the Shades Mountain Express.
Ooh, we should do that.
Like
we should
that?
just completely rebrand.
So what's
Shades
the
Formerly
yeah,
Red
exactly.
Mountain Express.
Formerly Red, or the podcast formerly known as Red Mountain Express.
Yeah.
That's
It's
fine.
been
Just
done.
use a symbol.
Exactly. Yeah, use a symbol. So tell us what prompted the change.
It's been about 19 years I've kept in contact with the guys. We've all done other things, other musical projects. And the singer, Dan Lord, called me, and he said, I have these songs that sound like Pain songs.
Did he say to you, "We're getting the band back together"?
I made him say that. I
I
requested
need official.
just say it, Dan. Say it. Say that. Yes, I'm on a mission from God to get the band back together. Or that's how I heard it anyway.
We're getting the band back together
Okay,
with a new name. Okay,
Right.
Yeah.
So we were going to call ourselves Pain, and we went to our bass player, who's a co-founder of the band, Pose, and he didn't want to do it or be involved in it. He's a dean now, and his wife Liz, who played keyboards.
No, when you say dean, he's a dean at a real university.
At a real university,
Deep
the
into
poli sci.
academia.
He stayed with it. And
Can you
he
tell us what
did it.
university, or do you don't want to say it on the air?
Well,
Can you tell us what university, or
if I could remember, I would be a better friend. But I know he's doing quite well, and it's just too much right now. So out of respect, we changed the name to confuse everyone.
There you go.
And
Mission accomplished.
the songs still sound like Pain. It's a broader scope this time, though. We have brought back, because while we were together, guys, we had a lot of members come and go, mainly because we recruited people from the University of Alabama.
Right.
Roll Tide?
And Jacksonville. So we graduate, we look for more members. This time, we ended up with, in addition to two drummers on this new record, I'll explain that. We had DeMondre Thurman and Jason Reed play trombone on this album, which is beautiful. Stuart McNair, Chris Johnson, I can name everybody. But we ended up, we were always an 8-piece band. On the record, we probably had 14 to 18 people contribute to this.
Wow.
So it's quite an undertaking. It got large, and it still sounds like us.
That's great. It makes it a very tight recording studio.
It does.
how many people are in here? 16. Yeah, let's get a couple more.
We can raise that.
Squeeze more.
Up the ante. Yeah.
Tuba.
So
Tuba. We have used tuba before. We actually have a song, One Legged Girl, and I believe there's a tuba. I'm probably wrong about that now that I say it. But
that's okay. No one.
We wrote the trombone part so low that
I don't know if someone's gonna listen. Like, I don't hear a tuba. There's no tuba in here.
Fact checking
happen.
this.
So did you say you guys were recording a new album or have recorded a new album?
We have finished a new record under the name Salvo. The album is going to be titled Off the Charts, and it will be available in the early fall. We're going to release our first single the day before our upcoming show at Saturn, May 17th. We're going to release our first song, and we couldn't be happier about it.
So May 17th, the first
That's
single
our first
comes
release
out.
of a Pain/Salvo song in 19 years.
That's awesome. And then you guys are playing a show at Saturn on the 18th.
The 18th, Saturday the 18th. The 18th, it's just us that night. It's an evening with it's kind of a reunion for us to see all the guys again and see a lot of our old friends and fans that came out. And we have new songs to play for him, and we have our Pain songs to play as well.
Okay.
So,
do you think anybody in the crowd like, why are they playing Pain songs? That's weird.
Yeah, and that name was always such a misnomer. So
Right.
I don't know. It's kind of liberating
For a happy band.
Now it's like we're a happy band because there is a metal band called Pain, and all the best of those guys. So, we're doing. There's a UK band called Salvo, and I'm sure they don't say it that way. And I hope we're going to cut
Salvo.
Wait,
this part off
Salvo.
the Oh, please don't. I don't know if they want to sue us or not. I don't know.
We don't need any Cockney accents on this podcast.
Because someone in Birmingham, UK is going to listen to our podcast and
Oh,
go,
cool.
I know
Podcast.
Salvo. They know Salvo.
So we're Salvo US. Yeah. Salvo the band. Salvo US.
Salvo US.
And it takes a lifetime to find a name. We decided to call it that because it felt like a musical burst of cheer. And
Salvo.
Salvo. Yeah, exactly. And you nailed it.
Yeah.
And we're expecting a really good turnout for this. People are flying in to see us.
That is awesome.
It was
It's really
such-
exciting.
It was like a social media word of mouth that they all came in, and we have our theatrics, and a lot of people I've run into didn't get to see Pain shows. Either they weren't old enough or just didn't know about them. And since then, people have heard about these shows that we used to do and want to see some of that or experience some of that.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to pull out the stops.
How you feeling about it? Are you like
I'm nervous.
amped up for you?
I'm
Nervous?
totally amped, but I'm totally nervous too. I'm always nervous. And I'm anxious. I want to do it, and I want to do more. And yeah, I can't wait. I'm excited for the guys in the band and the people that are going to see us because that's such a beautiful venue to play. My parents are coming.
That's
I'll tell you
awesome.
that,
That's
guys. I wouldn't tell that to most people over there, but my parents, because I'm pretty sure my dad financed part of this in the early days.
In one way or
So he's like,
another.
oh, I'm definitely going to see this through.
Yeah.
How much longer is
He's
this
sticking
band
with it.
thing going to happen?
Yeah, this band, exactly. When are you going to become a decent member of society? And do anything
Keep waiting,
else?
Dad.
Yeah, exactly.
You think he's gonna be sitting off to the side drinking a
Coors.
a Coors that they sell and going, hey, he could have got a welding scholarship.
Could have got no welding scholarship. I created you. Exactly. So yeah. So we're releasing a new record, and we're going to do a show, and we'll see how that goes, and we'll go on from there.
I love the record title, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Well, off the charts because that's where it's going to end up. And
Brilliant.
then part of us, we were looking for a record deal, and then I went and watched Bohemian Rhapsody and said, "Hey, we can go much larger than this.
We can do
You know,
this.
we can get BMI, we can get Sony, we can get so now I want this. The sky's the limit for me to sign everything
It's perfect.
away.
Well, the second act is usually the best. So man.
I think so. I've lost an inch and a half, and worrying about it, so I feel good about it. I will say that the record, you guys didn't ask, but I'll keep talking.
No.
It's always
doesn't
better when
have to
when
ask
our guests
questions. Yeah.
interview themselves. It makes our job so much easier.
It just this album, we're older, and we think we got it right this time. I stand by our previous Pain releases, but with the Salvo stuff, it feels broader in scope, and I've said that before. I got to play harp on the album, guys.
That's
I
pretty
mean, that's
awesome.
So since Salvo, I've
Yeah.
learned how to play a bunch of instruments like balalaika and banjo and things. I probably played more acoustic instruments in this than I ever did on any other type of music I've played before. But we got to bring in string friends from String Theory.
Yeah.
Neve Toohey and Melanie Rogers played. Kim Scott played flute on this.
Oh, wow.
It's been just a beautiful thing.
Are you
So-
more? Do you feel like this album is more? I'm not saying free, but like are you trying to be just kind of more free to do what you want? You're being
Yeah.
less careful, I guess, this time around, or
It just, it's odd to say they sound like Pain songs, but really, there are songs that sound straight up like with a leg in the past, and that's how we felt. That's why when Dan Lord called me, he said, "This isn't a solo album. This isn't like your solo album. This is my solo album. This sounds like our album for
Yeah.
Pain." And then we changed the name of the band. So, and it's kind of nice to do that. So we're older and
Wiser.
hopefully wiser.
Yeah.
Some of the songs might be a little slower. I hope so. Anyway,
High tempo harp is not something you hear a lot.
I had to learn how to play these songs again.
Yeah,
and we all did. And if it wasn't for muscle memory, it was like a Rocky montage of trying to get back in shape to do these songs.
Did you grow a beard and lift up a car
It
with
said "Yo America"
Polly and your wife sitting in it? You know?
Oh, exactly. Yeah, I just shaved a day. Yeah, that's how long it's been. And we've been doing this since last June, so it's been a real thrill. It feels right, and supposedly the '90s are back in some form.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
So why
absolutely.
not? Yeah, so we have a good three month window to make that happen. Before the 2000s are here, and we quit. So
I definitely remember your shows being a lot of fun. I was telling them that I used to go to
really?
I used to go like all ages shows at like Monsoons in Mobile, like way.
Oh my
back
gosh!
in the day, yeah.
Yeah, so you saw
I was
some
one of those
crazy,
kids.
creepy things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember there was the naked woman on stage once, and that got weird.
Wait, what? No, stop. I need to hear this story now.
I was going to fly right by that the minute I said it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think
So-
we were going to slam on the brakes and not hear that? Come on.
It was just, I don't know if that was the all ages. I want to say it was the all ages show. We used to play in Mobile, and there was a middle aged woman naked on stage, and had to get her off stage, and it was just such an odd thing for an all ages thing, especially with our
It's usually not
songs.
something I
You
don't
know
remember
what?
that one. But
When your fans love you, I mean, they love you.
They love you.
Heart and soul and no clothes.
I don't know what she took or what it took, but it took a lot to get her off the stage.
How long were y'all together before the break started?
We were together from, I guess, I met the guys in '93, and I joined, and Liz joined, and then we recruited horn players and drummers and everybody else, and there was that until 2000. I really thought that would be it for a long time.
Where did you play your last show?
I believe it was Tallahassee, I think so. Or it might have been Gainesville. I think it was Tallahassee, though. And it was so weird. But because we didn't really get to promote the last album, which was my favorite. Which I think that's how it goes. So our last album is called Full Speed Ahead, and it had some of my favorite songs, and we had a good time recording it, and we'd gotten so tight as a band, and we really didn't get to go out and promote that. I think one of our last gigs was City Stages, and had a horrible time.
yeah,
It wasn't their. We got cut short, our set. And I think the headline that weekend was Solar Salvo destroys guitar amp, Pain destroys stage. We
I think I was at that.
could have
City
handled that a
Stages.
little better because the next day Iggy Pop came out and gave 100% and didn't care what was wrong.
yeah.
And you go, oh, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
So we needed a break, though. We had gone on tour for so long, and we'd go out for 6 to 8 weeks to 12 weeks and come back and stay for a week or two and not really recover and go back out.
Wow.
And a lot of those were 5 bucket a blanket tours. So the band did well, but it was a lot to maintain. And it was just really stressful in the business. And our first gigs, guys, we put a demo. It said, for inquiries to book, please write to. I'm like, can we have a phone number to call if anyone wants to book us as a band? So. And then by the end of the thing, we were, either in the curve or ahead of it as far as being on the internet, the new internet thing. So yeah.
So where can people find the new Pain album when it comes out?
I believe it's going to be everywhere available that we can probably. We're going to put it on vinyl. We're going to have a limited edition. We're going to give it away as a lucky ticket for I believe colored vinyl and all kinds of surprises. I don't know if that's a surprise yet. What surprise?
Ooh.
Yay.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not quite sure, but we're going to do something. We're going to do a special run of vinyl. And I know we're going to try to put it in every record store that survives. That
All three of
survives
them.
the summer. And I know it'll be available for digital. And we're actually going to... I love this. We are putting liner notes in our album and lyrics.
That's awesome.
Because we have a lot of words that we want people to hear
And
and
understand
read
what they are.
and understand what they are. So that might come out in the form of a digital booklet.
That's very
we
retro
do it.
of you.
It is. Even the guys I recorded with, we recorded at Old Elegante, Les Newby's studio, and friend Will Stewart. The guys were all laughing about doing, sheets of lyric sheets and stuff. Like I want that. I still like Nine Inch Nails when they put out. I was like, I know exactly who did what and what those words are. The ones that I can't repeat on there. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I actually had one more question. A friend of mine, I wanted to ask, what is a Goggin?
Okay. I feel bad about that. I had something to do with writing that song. We had our first EP that was called Goggins. And I think all it started off with, I believe it was someone's name, and somebody got hit in their bird chest in football practice or something, and just said, "Damn Goggins," So now anyone named Goggins, I apologize to, because we ended up playing a song called Goggins about about the turmoil and hassles and problems in your life and overcoming those, and don't get upended by those things, and use that name as a. My last name's Guthrie. If someone said don't be taunted by the Guthries in your mind, I'd feel a little weird. I admit it, and so I don't have it. I can't defend that.
No, that's
I like the song.
There you go.
Before we end, you have a clip of a song for us, right?
That's right. I do.
So tell our listeners what we're about to hear.
Yeah, it's a song called Goblin Orchestra. And it's a song that it's going to be on the new record, and I'd love for you guys to hear at least the first half of this.
Okay.
And we'll continue to put out singles over the summer.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So you're going to be at the Saturn on
Saturday, May 18th. That's Saturn. Pain Reunion Salvo premiere.
Pain Reunion Salvo premiere. That's great.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming out. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, JD.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate this.
Yeah. Let's listen to that quick snippet of their song, and we'll be back with the second half of the show.
Sounds of a gathering travels down the mountains, heard in rivers and in urban fountains. To feel enchanted, folks will open down the what the greatest spell have we found. So would you like to audition for a goblin orchestra? Openings and new positions, there is always room for more. Find the chair that naturally speaks to your dereliction. Ready, goblin orchestra, fire with conviction. Now gloves with such mastery.
And welcome back to the second half of the Red Mountain Express. So we were talking in the break about the infamous Brat has reopened, and I'm not going because
I haven't been yet.
You've been before, though.
I've been before,
Right.
But this seems to be a very hot topic on the Birmingham subreddit. People seem to love to hate it right now.
Well,
It's a hot take.
Yeah, it's definitely some hot takes going on.
and I don't think it's
on
because.
Reddit.
Now, do they not like it because of the service or the food, or is it because they don't allow people under 21?
I haven't heard so much about the people under 21 not being allowed.
'Cause that's the problem I have.
Yeah, I agree. I've heard that it's still just kind of disjointed because they have first come first serve seating, except that they're allowing people to reserve tables.
And that's not first come,
interesting.
first serve.
Right, which is confusing to your patrons. So I've heard a lot of people complaining about that. And then I've also heard people just say that basically for the value, it's not a good value. Like, you pay like $8 and you get half a sandwich. Which, if I order a Reuben for $8, I want a whole Reuben.
I want a full Reuben.
Yeah, not half a Reuben. So I think people complain about the prices. People said the beer's good, which I always laugh when people say that, like Brat made the beer.
Everywhere has good beer.
Have you ever been to have you ever heard someone go, we tried this new place, the beer was terrible?
Yeah, no.
I have never heard
I've
that.
never heard that.
You know?
I can maybe see people saying, oh, okay, the selection was good, or it's nice cold beer, but I've never heard people go like, yeah, they had really good beer. Like, Yeah.
Well, if they go to a
I
brewery,
mean, that's a brewery thing. Yeah, like if you go to a brewery, oh yeah, they have a really good
but
beer.
not like oh, we went to Buffalo Wild Wings. Beer was great.
right.
Well, yeah, sure it was. Out of
The
cake.
Lombard does have great beer, though.
They do. They do.
Best beer in town.
They got to get my my Space Ace orange blood cider back.
Oh,
That
man.
stuff's so good.
I tasted that. It was outstanding.
It was.
I will tell you that beers do taste different in different places. Like if they don't clean their lines properly, things like that. I mean, you can have a difference in quality in the
that's
same
true.
beer at different locations. Just if I may,
JD, I
contradict.
I don't need you to crap
Appreciate
all
the
over
perspective.
our commentary here. Man.
just saying.
But anyway,
Yeah.
I digress. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting how much people, if you're on the Birmingham subreddit, you've seen this. It's kind of become a running joke now, too.
I'm gonna have to check that out. I've not ventured into that, but I'm excited.
Talk trash about Brock
Go
Brot.
down that
Do you
rabbit
ever
hole.
just go in there and just like poke and see?
Oh,
like,
you can easily just be like, so I went to Brot today, and just like see what pops up.
Don't go like listen to Red Mountain Express because then like I don't want people like that's podcast
people
is
hate on
garbage.
us so hard.
I like that JD guy, man. I'm glad he joined the podcast.
I can't-
JD's comment on the subreddit again.
Can't wait till we have Reddit haters.
Yeah, that's when you know you made it. Yeah, let's talk about some news. I got my story I wanted to bring. It's kind of like a follow up. So Roy Wood Jr. From the Daily Show fame and some other things, he's doing a pilot here in Birmingham. It's called Jefferson County Probation, and it's basically about a probation officer who, what the story says from AL.com, bends the rules to help his clients. He monitors, much to the chagrin of his partner, and they're actually doing a casting call for the pilot. So, if you want to be famous,
If you want to be on probation,
Which I do.
yeah, well, you already are famous, right? I mean, you're Birmingham famous.
I mean, I want to be on probation, so
You look like a guy to be on probation.
I do. Okay, this sounds funny, and like I realize that this is not a documentary, but this sounded like a reality TV show, like Jefferson County Probation.
It does.
Yeah,
Like,
Jefferson
Sounds like
County
the first
Probation.
48.
yeah, I was thinking more like along those lines of like, let's go into the jail and watch
Kind of
people
like
get.
Locked Up. That's they used to play from the prison down in South Alabama, or
What about Love After Lockdown or Love After Lockup?
Love After Lockup.
It's
Is
where
that a real
it's like
show?
women and like people who are being in relationships with ex-cons or people who are like still in prison.
It's like you get married to like people who are in
Yeah.
prison.
like their pen pals or whatever. And
Yeah.
they get married.
How do you explain that to your family? I met this wonderful guy and we're gonna get married. Oh, really? Where's he?
Where'd you
Well,
meet
we're
him?
gonna get married in 5 to 10.
Well, it all depends on whether he gets parole.
I hope for 3, but it might be 5.
Exactly. If for good conduct,
Good
you make it
behavior.
out. Yeah.
Well, this is cool. So where can people go to?
All right, so they're casting for extras, principals, and day players, and I think it's Goldman Casting has a Facebook page. So we'll put a link on the show notes, and you can go there and you can apply to be on the cast. So their shooting dates are like May 20th to May 24th. The director of this actually did The Walking Dead and some other big shows, and Trevor Noah from The Daily Show is actually an executive producer.
Very cool.
So, I mean, look, we've had a lot of cool things filmed in Birmingham. They haven't been very successful because, like, the one with Aaron Eckhart hasn't been released yet.
Well, it might be huge.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and the John Travolta thing, I don't know if you saw the trailer for that show, for that movie, Trading Paint, but it was terrible. I mean, it looked bad. Like, John Travolta as a Southerner doing NASCAR, come on, man. They can't sell me on that. So we're due for something to be good. You know what I mean? We're due.
Right.
So I'm hoping this is good.
All right. Well, we'll see.
So,
Maybe.
So go to their website, go to the Facebook page, check it out, get it on TV, and if you in a few years we may be talking about how Patrick Tucker got his start. So yeah, JD, what you got?
It looks like there's a new entertainment complex going to open at the Outlet Shops of Grand River in Leeds.
That's
Now,
where
I
the
think
big movie
this is-
theater, or the
yeah, I think this is
outlet?
where the Coyote Drive-In used to be.
Have you
and
ever
I
been?
didn't think that
I've
was
never been
a-
to that drive-in. Have you?
Yeah, we went a couple of times. It was really nice. I really enjoyed it when we went. I mean, it was relatively inexpensive. I think you paid like $5 per person,
Right.
and then they had like a cool area for the kids to hang
And you
out.
get
Did you put
get
your
to
kids
watch-
in the trunk or save money?
Well, actually, when we opened up like the back of the SUV, we all just kind of like sat in there. So
You-
kind of
you-
yes.
You missed my joke though. Like
Yeah,
you put
no,
the
he
people
didn't
in
hide them under like a
Yeah,
blanket in the
No,
back.
no, we didn't do that.
Get under the tire, John Weston. We'll save $5.
We're honest people.
Okay.
But they're reopening the movie theater part too, right?
Yes, it looks like they're reopening the movie theater part, but then they're also adding several other things. There's like an off-leash dog park, a beer garden, a performance area for concerts and events. So it looks like it's going to be a lot more than it was before.
Yeah,
as well.
so they re-landscaped the mini golf and also relocated and upgraded the children's playground. So, I mean, it sounds like a pretty cool place to hang out.
I bet the beer's gonna be pretty good at that beer garden.
if they clean their lines
if
properly.
they clean their lines properly.
They'll probably have brand new lines in the beer garden, so good fresh beer coming out of the fresh beer lines.
It's got a kind of plasticky undertones,
But
But-
this is so Hunter Lake is the guy that's doing this, and you probably have heard that name if you've been to a little place called Avondale Brewery or anywhere in Avondale, because he was involved in pretty much all of that. So he's now behind this Grand River thing. So it'll be cool to see what's out there. It'd be good to get more people in that area. And they can always head down the road when they want food to Rusty's Barbecue because they're
Boom.
right down the street.
I mean, like right there.
Yeah, so don't eat at the snack shack or whatever they have there.
Can you please tell Rusty to bottle and sell the white sauce at the grocery store, man?
I can tell them.
I mean,
Doesn't mean he'll do it. You can go and stock up on it though at his restaurant.
Yeah,
Just
but
go
I
and be
mean,
like, I need
have to
6
go to-
bottles of white sauce.
yeah, exactly.
That'll last you like
Maybe
a week
all of
and a
our
half.
listeners could send him emails and phone calls.
Yeah, please do.
All of our millions of listeners.
He has a feedback form on his website, so if you go on there and tell him all the time that you need more white sauce, then that'll probably happen.
Yeah.
All right, so the last story we have tonight, which I really enjoyed reading this article, it's about Jason Horn, which he's a great writer. He's from Birmingham, and I think he's from Birmingham. He's definitely spent a lot of time here and written a lot about the city, but he posted an article that said it's about time to put this overlooked southern city on your radar. And this was
Charming but sophisticated, small but diverse.
yeah. So he writes a lot of really great things about Birmingham, and it's like if you've only known it for like the civil rights movement or the Civil Rights Museum that's there, and the 60th Street Baptist Church. Obviously, we have a lot of history with civil rights, but if that's the only reason you know the city, you're really missing out. And I love this article because he talks to Emily Neighbors Hall and Roscoe Hall, who are good friends of ours, and he calls them the Birmingham power couple, which I totally agree with.
Which I'm pretty upset because I thought me and you were the power couple. But I guess not.
No,
Sorry, JD. We're seeing a lot more of these articles.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
that's. I mean, I think in the last year and a half alone, we've seen the New York Times did one. We've seen Birmingham be on top 10 list. They talk about how we're a reviving southern city and how we have a lot more to offer than people think. And it's kind of like what we've heard what the folks at Teal say, that people in Birmingham just love Birmingham. And they love everything about it, and they want to see it succeed. And I think this kind of shows you, this kind of displays that. Because they talk about the businesses that are come to Birmingham, the food culture that is grown up around Birmingham, and all the cool things we have to do. I mean, we got a world-class art museum. We have some of the greatest parks.
Tons of breweries.
Tons of breweries with good beer.
With good beer.
Good beer at the brewery. So,
Right.
yeah.
but anyway, so they talk a lot about some of the big players in Birmingham, Highlands, and all of its offshoots of chefs that have worked there, like Hot and Hot, Little Savannah, with Cliff Holt, Chris Newsom at Ollie Irene, Chez Fon Fon Bottega. I mean, they just really go through like a list of all the great places to eat. And it even hit up some of the lesser-known places that people may miss over or may pass over. Or not,
Hey, man,
not
it mentions
know
the Red
about.
Pearl in here, brother.
The Red Pearl.
I love some Red Pearl.
Oh, so good.
I met Chris Hastings it was a few years ago, and I asked him, like, what was his favorite restaurant to go eat at, and he said Red Pearl.
Well, did you ever see, was it him or was it, I think it was Chris Hastings that did the food show, and
It
they
was
went.
Zimmern's food show.
Zimmern,
He
yeah.
he went
Which
to
the Red
and
Pearl.
but he got Chris Hastings to go with him. I
Yeah,
believe.
they got like the pig blood and the eel and all this other stuff, and like made the thing at Hot and Hot that night.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think I ever saw that show, but I need to
it's
go back and find
fantastic.
it. But they also mentioned like Gordo's Market. Have y'all ever been there?
Where was it?
Gordo's Market.
No.
It's like it's a great place to go get tacos. I think it's still over in Homewood. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll edit that out. If I'm not wrong, I'll leave it in.
You're never wrong, man. You got that.
But anyway, it's a great little article. We'll link to it in the show notes. I think
It's a very, and the thing about the article that's different from all these other articles that you see about Birmingham is that this is a detailed article. I mean, it gives out more information about the city of Birmingham than I could probably give out, or that you see in a brochure. I mean, they talk about Avondale. They talk about the food culture. They talk about some of the history of Birmingham, the civil rights. I mean, it's a very detailed article, and it's like I said, we've seen these more and more, and it just goes to show that Birmingham's an up-and-coming city. That's
sure.
my 2 cents.
Yeah, I mean,
That's your story and you're sticking to it?
That's my story, and I'll stick to it, man. Yeah. So we'll put a link to that in the show notes.
yeah. And I was gonna say something about Roscoe, and I missed it. I was gonna say like they list out some of the places that he's worked with, like Woodlawn Cycle Cafe and Revelator Coffee Company. I mean, he's been a consultant or involved in developing the menus for a lot of the places around Birmingham.
And wasn't his grandfather?
His grandfather was the person who started Dreamland. So he's got a
wow.
long history of barbecue. And actually now he is the, I think, manager at Rodney Scott's Barbecue.
He bleeds barbecue sauce,
Man. It's in his blood for
It's
sure.
in his blood for sure, yeah. Well, check it out. That's a great article. Good show today, guys.
Yeah. I agree.
Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the Red Mountain Express. We want to thank the folks here at the Lumbar for allowing us to record here. You need to check them out. They're, like we've said before, they're doing a thing with Cantina. They have some stuff on the menu. It's really, really good. I talked to Riley earlier. We're having to get her on the show one day and have her explain the menu and kind of pump it up a little bit. So
Yeah,
and it doesn't need pumping up. It's really
No.
freaking good.
I've been watching. This is they're actually their first night of doing. Well, when we're recording, it's their first night of doing the kitchen takeover, and it seems to be going pretty well. And people seem to really be enjoying the food. So I've asked a few people as we've been hanging out, like, "Hey, how's the food?" And that's been positive response all the way around. So come check it out. Come down to the Pepper Place Market on Saturday mornings.
Get their burritos.
Come
Yes.
by the Lumbar.
I'm gonna get it.
Get
They're
a
gonna give me
drink. Get a
free
burrito.
after this.
One day.
One day. Like I've always said, you can check us out at redmountainexpress.com. You can also download us on iTunes or Spotify or your favorite podcast app. Remember to go to iTunes and subscribe and leave us a review. Tell us how awesome we are. Give us 5 stars, and don't write anything bad about us, or you'll hear from us. We'll slander you on the airwaves.
So don't forget to go check out the Salvo show
Yes.
on May 18th,
May 18th
at Saturn.
at Saturn.
Yeah, this will be great.
Yeah.
That was a great interview. I enjoyed
agree.
that. Next week we will have the folks from the Points app. You need to download that if you don't have it. We'll talk about the great things they're doing in the tech industry, I guess you'd say, for the city of Birmingham.
Yeah, Birmingham startup.
Yeah, exactly. So for Patrick Tucker, J.D. Baker, and Matthew Joyner, who is not here, but we miss him dearly, I'm Blake Westbrook. We'll see you in a couple weeks.